Hallo Leute, heute werde ich ein bisschen Deutsch lernen. It's been quite a while since I had like a proper language learning session, but today I felt like doing one of those again. Because the past 2 years I've mostly been using a little bit of Duolingo, and I've also read some books in Swedish and German, but mostly children's books. But I do feel happy with like the things I did, but I do feel like at the moment I am ready to kind of dive a little bit deeper into language learning again. So that's what I'm doing today. I think I'm just going to start with a little bit of Duolingo to get me going, to maybe get my brain hopefully thinking in German. And then, yeah, I have some other activities lined up as well. So hopefully that's going to be fun, and I will hopefully also feel a little bit more confident speaking German again. Earlier this year in June, I went on a hiking trip to Germany, and it was really beautiful. I definitely want to go back there. We were in the east of Germany. It was gorgeous. Definitely want to go hiking there again. But I was definitely reminded that I'm not as bad at German as I think. I always feel like I'm terrible at German, but I could actually order at restaurants and follow a lot of the things that people were saying. I just don't feel very confident. So hopefully today I can kind of start getting that feeling of confidence back, but hopefully I'll be able to make some videos in German as well. But yeah, first I am just going to do some Duolingo rounds. Entschuldigung, mein Name ist Anna. Ich möchte einen Termin machen.
Frau Graf, ist Ihr Termin um 17 Uhr?
Frau Graf, ist Ihr Termin um 17 Uhr? Wie viel Uhr ist es? Oh nein, ich bin zu spät.
Spät.
Ich bin krank, ich muss einen Termin machen.
I think that was a good start. I did relatively okay. I think a lot of the Duolingo exercises are a bit easy for me, except for the articles. I'm not very good at remembering like the gender of German nouns, so that is something I do need practice with, which I was reminded of by these Duolingo lessons. But yeah, it went okay. I think it was a good start. I think now I'm just going to grab some lunch, and meanwhile I'm going to watch a documentary in German. Not too long ago I watched the film Krabbert in German, which I talked a little about in a video that I made, and it's a film that's based on the German book Krabbert by the author Ottfried Preußler. And a few days ago I saw that someone posted on Mastodon, they posted a link to a documentary about the author and the book, so in German. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch, especially since I watched the movie so recently. So that's what I'm going to do next.
Der Räuber Hotzenplotz.
Er ist einer der weltweit erfolgreichsten deutschen Autoren.
I finished the documentary, and I'll put a link in the description below so you can watch it as well if you're interested. But I thought it was really interesting because I didn't really know anything about Ottfried Preußler as an author. I knew that he'd written other stuff, like I'd seen some titles around, but I knew nothing about him as an author. So it was interesting hearing a little bit about his career and just kind of some of the things that he was involved in and how those influence his writing, like how certain themes in his life can be found in his stories. And it definitely made me interested in reading some of his other stories. I do think that Krabbert will remain my favorite book by him, I think, because the other books seem a bit more light-hearted, and in the documentary they also explained that he struggled a lot more with writing Krabat because for him it had like it very much had a connotation with like the war that he fought in. So I do think that's probably the most interesting books to me, but I am very interested in reading other books by him. But yeah, there's a few other things I'd like to do today, and I think for now I should switch to something a little bit more active because otherwise I'm going to doze off. But I have been thinking about making some vocabulary lists. Specifically, I want to make one for autumn because I always think it's fun to kind of organize my language learning around some sort of theme, like especially in autumn and winter, Christmas. I think it's just a lot of fun to watch, read, and like learn about things related to the season in the language that I'm learning. So I figured I would make like a vocab list with autumn vocab, and maybe also a list for like literature related terminology, because a while back I was thinking about making a video in German, but I realized that I'm kind of lacking the necessary vocabulary, so I figured I would make 2 vocab lists so that I can kind of talk about those subjects. I finished my autumn vocab list. That one, it's easy to come up with a lot of autumn related words, I guess, and that was more so for fun. I don't know how much I'll use it. But the next list, I started a book related vocabulary list, which was a little bit more difficult because I want it to be a little bit more useful. I want to look up more words that I'm actually using in reviews, but I realized that I probably should just start writing like a book review on paper, and then I'll probably realize which words I'm missing, and then I can expand my list, because I did write a few things, but it's not really enough to like write a proper review. But I think later today, if I still have some time left, I'll try to maybe write a short review of one of the books that I've been reading recently. But now I'm just going to read for a little bit. I am currently reading this book, Der Drache mit den 7 Köpfen. It's like a collection of stories for autumn, all kind of surrounding holidays, I think, in autumn. So far there's just been a lot of dragons, the stories that I've read, and the next story is also about a dragon. So yeah, I'm going to try to read one of these, and then maybe afterwards I'll try to write a review for a book that I've read, depending on how much time I have left. But first I am going to read this one. So I read a couple of short stories from this collection. They are all quite short, like some of them are only like 2 pages, some of them are a bit longer, but it's kind of interesting. I thought this would be easy because it's short stories, but because they are short stories, you, like in a very short span of time, you sort of need to figure out what's going on, who the characters are, what's happening. So that actually feels a little bit more difficult than some like longer books that I've been reading, so that was interesting. But yeah, I read a couple, and I hope to be reading one, like maybe not every night, but hopefully every few days I'll read a short story so that I can hopefully finish this book this autumn. And then afterwards I thought I might write a postcard in German, because I'm a member of Postcrossing. It's like a website where you sign up and send postcards to random members of the website, and then someone else sends you a postcard. And because there's a lot of German members, I usually, when I haven't sent a card in a while, usually one of the first addresses that I get is from someone from Germany. So I figured I would request an address to send a postcard to. And indeed, the first one was from someone that lives in Germany. But she actually wrote on her profile that she's learning Dutch and she would appreciate if people write in Dutch to her. So I'm going to do that instead, because I think it's nice when people want to learn Dutch. I don't really encounter a lot of people who want to learn Dutch in everyday life, I guess. So I will be writing in Dutch instead of German. So it's not going to be language practice for me really, but I do think it's nice. And then I went to the library, which it was supposed to be a short errand, but it took a lot longer than I was expecting. So I don't really have a lot of time left for language studying today because I do unfortunately have to do also some other things. Maybe in the next few days I will try to write like a short book review in German, but yeah, it's not going to happen today, so I'm going to leave my studies here. I would love to hear if you are also currently studying a language and which one it is and why you're learning it, and maybe I'll see you in my next video. Tschüss!